Uh, Board facilitated discussion. So we've almost already kind of started going down that route. But after you've seen what we've done here with both the development stuff that's going on, we got some pretty good feedback in September of last year and stuff that we should work towards. And we've tried to implement those things. So I think I've got 5 questions in here, and I would start with across the range of the stuff that's being developed right now and the presentations you just saw. What can we do better? Does anybody have any thoughts out there? We have some new folks on board. Greg, could you introduce yourself and just let us know what your background and what your interest is?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We got you loud and clear, sir. Thank you.
Okay, awesome, great. Yeah, basically, I'm the GIS analyst for Lucas County 911. I just sent BJ a notice that everybody got this. Initially, what I'm most interested in is the Elms project. I'm working with our Metro Park District here. We got a pretty robust park system in Lucas County, and I've been discussing with them this Elms thing for over a year now. I've been talking with the people in Cobb County, Georgia, and I haven't heard back from them lately. I'm not sure what happened with my contact there. She just hasn't responded back. But anyways, sorry.
I'll bet Dave's going to pick up on that because Dave's from Cobb County.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah,
and I'd like to just I got a sort of a fact finding thing here. I've got to sell it to the to leadership. I need to know things like that's basic things like that sign. That sign's perfect. I love the sign. I got a state resource that might be willing to make the sign, but what's the requirements? Is there like reflectivity requirements of the sign? What's it look like? I'd like to kind of get some. I'd like to get a sign that I could like show to a group saying this is what it looks like. You know.
Yeah. Who are you contacting down here?
Oh, what was her name?
Jennifer Lana, probably.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Okay, yes, Jen has all that information. I don't know why she wouldn't reach out to you, but I'm happy to give you my contact information as well.
Yeah, she's been super helpful up to now. I just thought that maybe I didn't want to, assume the worst, but I thought, maybe.
No, she is super busy, but she's still very involved.
Is she? Good. And everybody I showed the presentation to that's on the YouTube channel from Cobb County, they're like, oh yeah, this is great. We got to do this. But now we're getting to a point, and I got fire chiefs on board, and some here and some there. I got some state parks, some local parks. I got people all excited about it, but I think I just need to I need something to push people over the edge, so to speak. That really get.
Well, we've had some recent what we call saves with the Elms, and some of them had made the news. So we've got some good clips you can probably share with you as well that you can pass on that the people in the fire field will enjoy.
Yeah. So, I figure there's no sense in reinventing the wheel here. Whatever works, I'll steal whatever ideas I can get from you and from BJ and whoever, because,
and Greg, that's great. This is BJ. That's every jurisdiction needs a champion. So if you just put your email in the chat or contact me, I can get you information about those specs as well.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Well, and you can just go right on usngcenter.org and order one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it's best to coordinate directly through BJ. She's got her finger on the pulse in terms of helping through the mechanics of it. Jennifer Lana in Cobb's going to be superb in talking you through the steps that they went through down there, because they probably have the largest implementation in the United States, is what I think would be correct now. Does that be fair, Dave, do you think?
Well, we have over 2,000 elms deployed in fields, or in the field on trails and different locations. So I'm not sure if anybody has more than 2,000.
I'd be amazed if anybody did.
Oh, what I'm looking at this point is just do a beta project. Just get some of these in. We're on Lake Erie. We have parklands out on the lake. And again, we have something called biggest birding week in America, where we have birders who come in from all over the place, because birds, when they go to Canada, they can't cross Lake Erie. It's too much of a trip for them. So they funnel up through this part. We're on the western basin of Lake Erie, and they kind of funnel up through here and they stop here. And the birding community loves looking at these birds, but then they always get lost. And I got things that my computer-aided dispatch system I call POIs, which are not points of interest, but are points of injury, where like people get lost and hurt. So I'd like to kind of put some of these elm signs out and see how it goes.
So Greg, we have them on Lake Allatoona out here too. We've actually implemented larger stickers that go on PVC tubes that are already in the lake. So
Oh, okay. All right.
anyway, we can talk offline and I can show you a bunch of examples of what we have if Jen doesn't get it back to you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Jen's
No,
been
no,
super.
she's super
Okay, I don't
busy.
want.
She's
Yeah,
super
okay, yeah. I don't want to create sort of
No, you
any
won't.
misunderstanding. Okay, no, she's been great, and so you have PVC tubes you put these on in the waterways.
Yep. So they're already there to mark like low spots. So where we have this lake's in 3 counties. So the parts that are in Cobb, we've all marked with elms, because a lot of people don't know once they pull out of their boat slip what county they're in.
Yeah.
So it helps our fire respond a lot better. And actually our fire station that's right there on our part of the lake, Fire Station 11, has put every elm in as a waypoint in their directional finder on their boat. So as soon as they get an elm, they just plug it in. They don't even have to use the app we use. They just go.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Greg. We appreciate the discussion. That's great.
Well, I appreciate you opening it up and letting me talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of what you saw today in terms of a presentation, the admin rundown, is there anything we can do better in that delivery? Going once, going twice, gone. Based on where things are headed with the organization overall, what should our points of focus be going out of the administrative build? Are there any thoughts on that one? Is there any specific project that we should be looking at? Bernard, are you with us?
Hey, this is Al.
Al, go. What do you got?
So you had talked about it years ago, many times. Basically, over time, there needs to be an assessment of jurisdiction relative to USNG use, whether it's jurisdiction, state, whatever. I thought that could be value added. I think you mentioned it yesterday, even.
Right.
So that's something to, consider. That's pretty, that's about all I got for it at the moment.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, Steve, this is Rich McCurry.
Yep, Rich, please. Thank you for being here today.
You bet. Yeah, glad I've missed a couple meetings in the past here, but I should know this, but I don't. But is there a way a person can just sign up as a member of USNGI on the website, or is that coming? And can they like automatically be forward emails if they're like a member? Is that maybe that's ongoing? I don't know.
Okay, let me walk through what I think you just asked me. Right now, there is no membership per se. The organization coming out of the blocks for ease of implementation and to get things going was created without a membership type structure. But clearly that is something that can be brought forward in the future if you think it would be of value as to actually create a membership profile within the organization. As far as the second part of the question, as I understand it, is right now, for instance, if I go into the database, I have your email exists both in the contact database, and then it's now been loaded over into MailChimp. So we will push notification based on that set of emails, but we will also be turning on a volunteer form. If you want to get involved in a more in-depth level, there will be the ability off of the website to fill out a form and say, hey, please contact me. I'm interested in doing X, Y, and Z. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I think the membership part would be helpful, and I know you'd have to build that capability into your organization and website and whatnot, and that could be, take voluntary donations or have a fee of $10 or whatever, but start out, making it free, no obligation, and people can donate there or other ways on your website. But yes, you answered my question.
Rich, I'll bring that up at the next board meeting to see how they feel about going that direction. No, it's been something that's been batted around, so you aren't in left field or anything by any means.
Okay.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Any other thoughts? Okay, we'll move on to the next one. How can we increase participation? So there you go. I think Rich has already kind of primed the pump with that one. Are there any other thoughts on stuff that can be done to make folks aware of our existence? And I don't want to get into the routine of spamming people, but at the same time, any thoughts on priming the pump on that we're here and come on, join us, jump in the pool with the rest of us.
Steve, I was just, while we're talking, I was just doing some quick Google searches, and I'm finding US National Grid map services out there that, indicate that counties are publishing them. We ought to at least let them know. I mean, I think a quick Google search, we could dig up a list of websites that are essentially counties just by the URL that are publishing US National Grid map services. So they're doing something, and we could try and figure out how to get a hold of them. I mean, I'd be willing to do a little digging around and see what I could come up with.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put the monkey on your back, if you would, to just try to come up with that outreach piece to the degree if you can find additional folks like that. It would make sense to try to target them by all means. Yeah, for sure.
I also think if someone had a good presentation, as we did a few years ago when we talked at a NAPSIG conference, that brought a lot of people in contact with us to talk about the program. So a more general one about US National Grid would be great, and you could probably get a lot of people involved that way.
So Dave, are you recommending that we start doing more of a search for conferences and things of that nature where we could present? Is that what your thought is?
Well, that's one way to get a lot of input from other people about what they're doing, and then also get them advised or up to speed on what you're doing. Some people probably don't even know and haven't looked at that approach.
What we're doing in terms of what?
Well, using National Grid for coordinated searches is better. I mean,
Okay,
some people search and rescue are not as up to speed as others.
Got it. Okay, I'm with you. Yep.
Okay, excuse me. Sorry, I've been multitasking here, but I just wanted to jump in. On my end, I'm going to try to promote US National Grid locally with Marin County and the surrounding counties. And I just want to try to do it in the most effective way possible, and then give you feedback on what the responses are and to what extent they're using US National Grid in this area. I don't know if it's appropriate for others, but it seems to me you kind of start in where you happen to be located and work out from there. It's just one possibility.
Okay. So Bernard, when you're going to do your outreach, what are you anticipating using for the outreach items, if you will?
Well, I did speak with BJ a couple of weeks ago, and she sent me some material, and I'm really excited that you've got now these two 15-minute presentations that'll be on the website, because then I can just attach those to emails and refer to them as I talk to people. But basically, I've met with the park ranger, who's the outreach person at the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, GGNRA, and she's putting me in touch with other people. And I've also spoken to the emergency response manager for the county, but I want to follow up with her effectively, and not in a half-baked way. I want to make sure I'm doing it in the most professional way to represent, the Institute also. Try to get them to use ELMs, etc.
And I think, again, that entire crew that's down in Cobb County, they have bent over backwards to try to help other people understand. So I think that's another resource for you in that regard, Bernard.
Okay. When you say the crew in Cobb County,
Well, you have Dave Obashi on right now with us. He's parked in his rig. He's part of the park. What is it? Park Rangers? What do you?
Well, I work for the Cobb County Police Department, but I'm assigned to the Ranger unit. So we have 96 parks, 6,000 acres, and about 300 miles of trails in our county. So that's why we have implemented the system, because it's just a nightmare trying to find people off. If you can write this down, sir, there's a wealth of information and there's contact information there too, but it's Cobb, COBBELM.com. There's videos, there's explanations of US Grid. There's other people that are using it located there. And there will soon be a place where we're going to post success stories, so people can go there and click on the link and see the news stories and things of that nature.
okay, that sounds great. Now, can I get in touch with you? Do we have your email or whatever?
I've
Steve
got it.
Number?
You can send it up to your whole list. That's fine.
Yep, Dave, I've got it. They'll be good.
Okay. Okay, terrific. Great. Okay, thank you very much. But BJ and Randy, don't be surprised. I'll follow up with you too. And Steve, and anybody else.
Okay, we're kind of down to
Thanks,
sort of the pitch of who's willing to do what, and with the small number of folks that are on board today, I think this is probably more for the recorded function, but as I indicated before, we're in need of FEMA region reps, we're in need of committee chairs, and we're in need of committee participation to, if you will, continue to build the organization and move things forward. As Bernard indicated there, it's always best to start where you are. So I'll open the floor. If there's, I think everybody that's on this call is already very engaged. Austin, could I ask where are you from right now?
Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear. Go ahead, please.
We're from northern Wisconsin, up here in Vilas County.
Ah, okay. And have you participated at all in the Bayfield and Sawyer County efforts, or are you watching to see how things go there, or what's that look like for you?
We actually have developed two kind of like of our own custom USNG map series that we have available to the public. Originally created for search and rescue. So like if there was ever a time that we needed a map, we had one ready, essentially. But we also thought that, since we have these, if we can somehow make them available to the public, that they might find a use for them as well. And Adam can jump in anytime if he wants.
Yeah, I'm with Vilas County as well. I'm in the GIS Administrator LIO here. And my name is Adam Grossel, and we kind of have at this point a little bit of a solution without a problem, which is it's okay. But we are really looking at this again because one of our trail groups told me the other day, he said, we're running out of these intersection numbers. We have to look at what we're doing going forward. It's a county-based system for trail intersection signs. And so we've gone down this road 10 to 15 years ago, and it may be time to re-up the discussion. So that's, I think, kind of why we're sitting in here, getting some information and ideas.
This is BJ, Adam, and Austin. Thanks for those comments. When we were working to promote ELMs, or at least US National Grid knowledge and awareness in Lake County, where I'm from, we started with the snowmobile trails because, similarly to your junction question, the snowmobile trails are not linear. They're, a spaghetti junction of trails all over. And the Snowmobile Club was trying to get our advice on how to mark locations, and they suggested mile markers. And we quickly realized that in a place with a lot of intersections, that's not going to work. So that's how we originally started coming up with US National Grid as well. But we promoted that by making US National Grid ELM signs for the local bars, because that's where the snowmobilers were going. And so they could post it at the bar on the bulletin board with a map and with some information about what they were and how to use them. And we've made them for other buildings too. We put them on our sheriff's offices and other buildings in our county, just so that people see these and gain some awareness of that these are location markers and what they can do with them. Secondly, one idea that we've been helping some smaller trail groups with, who have small budgets and volunteer boards, et cetera, we've been helping them by making trail maps for them that are geo-referenced if they don't know how or have that ability. And one thing I was going to bring up with this group or with another Share Geo or some other group is there can we have volunteers or people who are paid to make maps for small trail users, like a ski trail user, bike trail user, and then we or someone could publish them on Avenza, as Bernard mentioned, because they might not have the expertise or time or whatever to do that. Is that a service that some portion of this group could provide in order to get smaller groups, trail organizations, involved in using these on their trails?
I will chime in with a little bit on that. At one point, we had looked at the scenario of at the University of Wisconsin and at the University of Minnesota Duluth sponsoring, because US National Grid is not being, as my understanding is, not being taught as a function of the traditional GIS training profile. We are looking at doing an intern program that would effectively do the same thing you're describing, which would offer the opportunity for someone in that training profile to learn about US National Grid and develop the skill set to be able to carry that forward in providing development in a standardized product. So I've written that down, and I was originally in the design for the training web page drop downs. I was originally going to put that program back in there, but I thought I should hold off until somebody would raise it as an issue. So I think we're already there, but it's that potential is there if there are organizations or are areas that want to use that kind of a capability. We'll have to do some outreach on it. But thank you.
So there was a question about making small scale maps. Is that correct?
It was about, yeah. And so Al also has a whole approach that for the response community is about, what do you call them? Quick maps or something like that?
Yeah, I pretty much actually moved on. Hasty Maps. I moved on from that, but I've got, on my website, I've got some of that. But the latest that I've been teaching for the last few years now is using, and VJ mentioned it, Avenza. But if you use SAR-Topo outputs to a QR code and also outputs to a link. And so that's what I teach the search and rescue guys. That's what I'm going to be teaching in New York. And anybody can make a map, and you don't have to be a GIS person, because I'm not one. But I make USNG maps all the time, and they're real easy to make. And it's so that capability exists. If anybody wants to contact me, I think I've got presentations available, and or I can talk somebody through it over the phone. It's very easily done. So there's a few people on here that have some interest, and there's people out here that have been doing it for a long time. We've got information for you.
Well, I'm
And
thinking,
Al, are you talking about making maps on CalTopo or SAR-Topo?
Yes, that's my method. And I
Yeah,
can do
one of my-
multi-page maps. I can do multi-county map. I mean, you can do, I don't know if you've done all the features, but you can make map books with 20, 30, 40 pages right on SAR-Topo.
And one of my questions that I haven't asked SAR-Topo or CalTopo about yet is, can we, if we make a map, a recreational trail map using CalTopo, can we publish their map to Avenza, or do they have some limitations, restrictions, copyrights, whatever? So do you know the answer to that question?
It's, I think it's out of the box. Now it's you could ask them, but I've trained people where if you make a single map on SAR-Topo, it generates a map link. The map link, the first part of the map link is always the same. So you could actually send somebody like a 5-character code over the radio, and they could type that 5-character code into their phone, and as long as they have internet connectivity, it'll pop up. So, or you can use the QR code.
if I could, Austin and Adam, is there any sort of support follow-up that we could provide you that is of an informational nature that would help your process or help decision makers in your county better understand what this is all about?
I'm not sure at this point. I've been to the website and haven't really gotten my ducks in a row. Again, at this point, when we first did this, I was just starting out. That was 15 years ago. So it was great when I think it was BJ showed the how dispatch goes about using the National Grid stuff to pinpoint the location on a map. That's one thing with how our 911 system would handle it. So that's one of my main concerns right now, and that we would need to be able to demonstrate that it works in that capacity. So that's my key concern at this point.
Sure.
So if you have any more or good visual resources or anything like that regarding emergency dispatch and using that would be great.
Okay. We will make sure that, did you, let me ask you this. Did you learn about this event through something that was sent to you? Did you receive an email from me? I'm trying to figure.
Yeah, we got an email.
Okay, then I'll make sure that you're linked up with BJ on the backside of this.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep, you got a conduit there. Thank you. Well, I think we've hit the wall on time. I truly appreciate everybody that made the effort to be here today, and we'll try to do a much better effort going forward of advertising the time and providing link and whatnot to be able to attend next time. So thank you very much. And with that, the reminder would be our next get together Wednesday, July 26, 2023, 2:00 in the afternoon Central Time. And we'll be done by 4:30 next time instead of hanging around till 5 for the East Coast. Sorry about that. Until we meet again, happy fishing. Any last comments out there? All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.